I wanted to answer some of your most popular questions when it comes to that brand new beneficial ownership information, or BOI, form that you have to file in 2024 if you have any type of business entity in the United States. You know, I told you all about it in this video yesterday. Well, there are 4 questions I'm going to answer in this video. Are sole proprietor businesses, or DBAs, required to file? What type of businesses, if any, are exempt from filing? And do I have to file if my business is inactive? Where exactly do I file this BOI? And do I have to file a BOI every single year? First, do sole proprietor or nonprofits have to file a BOI? Let me first just repeat what I said in yesterday's video. Any type of business entity that is created through filing some sort of documentation with a Secretary of State must now file what's called beneficial ownership information. So again, if you had to file any type of paperwork with your Secretary of State or similar government entity to officially create whatever business entity you have, even if it's a sole proprietor or a nonprofit, the answer generally is yes, you have to file a BOI. The Treasury Department's FinCEN division, which is the one in charge of all of this BOI reporting information, put together this yes-no chart that helps you determine whether or not the business entity that you have will be required to file one of these BOI forms. And it sort of starts with, are you governed by the U.S. laws of business, or did you form your company in another country and you're doing business in the United States? And it sort of goes through yes, no, is it a corporation, is it an LLC, yes, no. And you may end up with, no, you're not a reportable company, or yeah, you may be a reportable company. Now, when it comes to sole proprietorships specifically, there are instances where you must file a BOI and instances where you may not have to file one. FinCEN says if you filed paperwork with your Secretary of State or local government to form the sole proprietorship, yes, generally you have to file a BOI, as I said. But there are 3 exceptions when you do not have to file one. If you only filed a document with a government agency to obtain 1, an IRS employer identification number, 2, a fictitious business name, or 3, a professional or occupational license, that does not create a new business entity and therefore does not make your sole proprietorship required to file a BOI. Second, what type of businesses do not have to file a BOI? There are 23 exceptions to the types of businesses that do not need to report a BOI according to FinCEN. Here they all are. Most of them are banks, investment firms, public utilities, government agencies do not need to file a BOI. But I want to specifically call out number 19, which is tax-exempt entities, and number 23, which are inactive entities. So if you have a tax-exempt entity and you answer yes to any of these 4 questions, then you do not have to file a BOI. I'll get out of the way. But if you have an inactive business entity, you must answer yes to all 6 of these questions in order for you to not have to file a BOI. I'll get out of the way again. Where do I file this BOI? Well, as I reported in yesterday's video, you cannot file one yet. The portal will be open after January 1st. But if you want the link to the blank portal where it will eventually be, I'm going to send that to you tonight, again, in my Newsgirl News Roundup email. Now, lastly, do I have to file this BOI every year? According to FinCEN, the answer appears to be no. You do not have to file a new one every year. Once you file, it's in there. However, if there is any change or update to the beneficial owner or to the company, you must refile. Or if you notice a mistake in your BOI filing, you must change it. You will only have 30 calendar days to make those appropriate changes. Now, as always, I'm going to email all the documents, all the graphics from FinCEN out to you tonight in my Newsgirl News Roundup email, so make sure you sign yourself up.